Welcome to Safe Money Retirement Radio with your host, Tim Wood. Tim is a certified financial fiduciary and a no-market risk retirement and income specialist, and the owner of SafeMoneyRetirement.com, primarily serving Western North Carolina, East Tennessee, and Southwest Virginia. But he's sought after nationally for his expertise in helping people secure their retirements. Mr. Wood is a licensed life insurance professional in multiple states and specializes in working with people who are near retirement and those who have already retired with wealth management, income planning, and asset protection strategies. And now, here to talk with you about no market risk retirement planning, your host, Tim Wood.
Welcome to Safe Money Retirement Radio. I'm Tim Wood, an asset and retirement protection specialist. As many of you already know, I released my book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, back in 2022. And today, I'm thrilled to have journalist and podcast pioneer Doug Sandler with Turnkey Podcast Productions with me to discuss the 6th chapter of my book. Doug, welcome to Safe Money Retirement Radio.
Hey, thanks, Tim. Thanks for inviting me in, and thanks for sharing your story and all of your stories. I'm excited to be here and discuss it with you. So I get really passionate about speaking with best-selling authors to get more details about the stories that they share in their books. And you've got some great stories in your book, and we'll get to a whole bunch of them a little bit later in the chapters that we're doing, and we'll share some scattered out throughout the chapters that we're doing now. But I'm ready to dive into chapter 6, From Wall Street to Your Street: Why You Should Never Have Money You Can't Lose in the stock market, in parentheses, if you're near retirement. So Tim, are you ready to dive in?
I'm ready. Let's go, man.
So one of the things that I noticed as I was reading the book is that there might be a little bit more detail that we need to give them, just even about the title of the chapter, because there's always some confusion when I'm talking to other laymen like myself out there in the world. And in our listening audience, I'm sure there's a lot like me. What's considered the stock market? Like, are 401ks considered the stock market? Mutual funds considered the stock market? What would be your definition of the stock market?
What I'm meaning by that, Doug, and to answer your question, yes, 401ks, mutual funds, 403bs, TSPs, many IRAs. Basically, what I'm meaning by that is if you're getting close to retirement, or if you're in retirement especially, you don't want to have any of the money that you absolutely can't lose in an at-risk account. So when I'm saying the stock market, quote unquote, I'm meaning any type of account that you can lose money in, which obviously the stock market would be that number one prospect of where people would have their money in retirement accounts. But yeah, most 401ks, most mutual funds, a lot of IRAs, 403bs, TSPs, 457s, all these types of plans, a majority of them, all of that money is at risk in the stock market. So that's what I mean by the chapter is once you get close to retirement, or especially once you're in retirement, that's what I'm trying to convey to people is once you get closer, you're in, you don't want to have the money you can't afford to lose at risk.
So one of the things that you may be thinking if you're listening to this is, well, if it's not in the market, what should it be in? So we're going to talk about that a little bit later on as well. In this chapter, you also share two of the main risks to retirement, which are your longevity risk and the sequence of returns risk. Can you tell me about them and maybe any others our listeners should be concerned about?
Sure, absolutely. Longevity risk is real simple to explain. It's outliving your money. It's running out of money before you run out of life. This is the number one fear that retirees all across America, I mean, as you can imagine, people are doing polls all the time, and every time this is the number one fear people have, even more so than the fear of death, believe it or not. They're afraid of running out of money before they run out of life, and that's what longevity risk is. So that's one of the main things that we talk to people about and are able to help with a guaranteed income plan that you can't outlive. That takes longevity risk off the table because we can make sure you've got enough income to cover everything the rest of your life. And then basically the other risk that you're mentioning is essentially talking about asset allocation. So what we're talking about is where should your money be as far as sequence of returns risk. What happened with my dad, for those of you that have read my book, you read that in the first chapter, my dad lost over 75% of his retirement in the first 4 years of his retirement. He went from a mid 6-figure to a high 5-figure, went from a retirement plan to a savings account, basically. That's because of where his assets were allocated because of sequence of return risk. So if you lose, and it's totally up in the air what's going to happen in the market, right? Nobody knows.
Right.
So if you retire and in your first few years of retirement, the market goes down significantly, like what happened with my dad, you go into what's called the death spiral, because not only are you losing account value, but you're pulling an income from it at the same time, and it can just completely wipe out your retirement. So that's why those are the two biggest. I would say if I had to pick a few others, one would be healthcare expenses. If you're not sure your Medicare is set up properly, your healthcare expenses can be a huge risk.
Yeah.
And on top of the healthcare expenses, I would also add on long-term care, because statistics show 70% of people are going to need long-term care at some point. A couple others I'd throw out there, excess withdrawals. The rule for many years has been 4%, right? Withdraw 4% once you retire and you should be good. There are a lot of really smart PhDs out there right now that are saying 4% is not going to cut it. It's going to be closer to 2%. So that's one thing to look at excess withdrawals. And then the last thing that I think is a major challenge right now is inflation. We're all seeing that all over the place everywhere. And hopefully the government's going to get a grab on that and stop it. They haven't managed to do that yet. But that's a major risk in retirement is inflation, because if you're on a set income and things keep getting more expensive, obviously you can see how that can become a pretty big problem pretty quickly.
We have the benefit of having Tim Wood's expertise here, and he's sharing all that he can about you and about your retirement, and especially get to retirement with Safe Money Retirement Way. For those that don't already have a copy of Tim's book, he's offering to all of our listeners a copy absolutely free. Just log into safemoneyretirement.com or call 844-905-SAFE to claim your free copy.
That was part 1 of chapter 6 of my interview with Doug Sandler about my book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success. Stay tuned next week for part 2 of chapter 6, Safe Money Part 1, From Wall Street to Your Street. Are you ready to step away from all of the risks and have your own safe money retirement? A copy of my book can help be a roadmap to get you there. Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success was written to help educate soon-to-be retirees or current retirees about what their options really are in retirement. Options for gains with no losses, options for income that you cannot outlive or your spouse can't outlive. You need to know what your options really are and how you can work with a certified financial fiduciary to make sure that you are in the best option. And my book can help. I will give you a copy absolutely free. Just give us a call, 844-905-SAFE. That's 844-905-7233. Or just log right onto our website at safemoneyretirement.com and register for your free book right now. Well, I'm about out of time, and I would like to thank you for listening to Safe Money Retirement Radio. If you're serious about your financial future, give me a call, and together we'll get your retirement savings on the fast track to accumulate while reducing exposure to market risk. Thanks for listening, and until next time at the same time, I'm Tim Wood, reminding you to stay safe so you can step into a secure future.
You've been listening to Safe Money Retirement Radio with your host, Tim Wood. Find out how to guarantee that your hard-earned money is safe with locked-in returns that will never go down due to market risk, so you can have the future that you deserve. Call Tim Wood now for your free copy of his #1 best-selling book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, along with the free Safe Money Retirement Information Kit at 844-905-SAFE. That's 844-905-7233. Or visit him online for more details at safemoneyretirement.com. Are you age 59 and a half or older and still working? Did you know that you may be able to move some or all of your retirement money to an individual retirement account without any taxes? Why keep your money in your employer's plan with management fees, exposure to significant market risk, and limited options for guaranteed lifetime income that you cannot outlive? What will happen to your plan at work if the market crashes? Call Tim now for retirement planning that will protect what you've worked so hard for and create a retirement that is safe and secure. Call 844-905-SAFE. That's 844-905-7233. The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Surrender charges apply to base contracts. Optional lifetime income benefit riders are used to calculate lifetime payments only and are not available for cash surrender or in a death benefit unless specified in the annuity contract. Fees may apply. Guarantees are based on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the insurance company. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified and licensed professional. Obviously, by calling us now, you are just taking the first step towards protecting your retirement. It's important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Rates and returns mentioned on this program are subject to change without notice.